Hey, g'day folks, how are you? I'm just about to put a camera on my head. This will be nice and comfortable. I love bandanas, they're so cool, eh? The day has come. I was thinking about it this afternoon. I was on my way home from work. I got a couple of days off work. I'm like thinking to myself, man, I can't wait to get up those mountains tomorrow. And like, look, because I've just totally neglected this bike. Like, look at this. It's time to fix it. So, do you like surfboards? Do you like boats? Do you like fibreglass? No, I don't like fibreglass at all. But hey, guess what? I don't even know whether fibreglass is going to work on plastic. I don't know. I've got epoxy because I own a boat. Yeah. So I figure if I can fibreglass a boat, if I can fibreglass a surfboard, I can fibreglass a fairing, a bit of KLR plastic. I'm a little bit disappointed, to tell you the truth, to let it get this far. Like, Juddy, what the hell? Hey, like this bit here is just broke. You know, when I broke it, it wasn't even. It just broke it. It didn't. It wasn't. But it is. Yes. So, I'm going to rip it off. I'm going to put a camera on this ugly noggin of mine, and we're going to do it together. Because I like doing things with you guys. It makes it easier for me, actually, because I hate doing things alone. Yeah, I'm a bit of a loner, but I like to share my triumphs and my failures with you guys. One day. So let's get this happening, okay? Do you get it in there? I think you sort of get it in there. I need to get a tripod. Tripod, Juddy. Okay. Now, if that's flashing, that means it's going. That's flashing. I like to do it, set it up. Yeah, anyway, shut up, Juddy. Okay, let's do this. Oh, Lily, what's going on? You want some dinner? Just give me 5 minutes, okay? What are you doing? Oh, I tell you, if you go near my phone, I'm going to get upset. Okay, let's do this. Go away. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Get. Okay, you can do it, Juddy. I'll feed you shortly, okay? Look, you've still got biscuits in there. Go away. I really love these Allen key ratchet things. Should have got them years ago. They sure make your job easier. So I'm very impressed with my muffler at the moment. I don't care that it's too loud at the moment. Poor old Hopper. What have I done to you? Anyone sees any rising smoke, I've got the Mozzie coils going. Because even though it's cooled down here, we're still, the midges can be a pain in the afternoon. My back tyre, don't know, I might get another couple of months out of it. Funny thing was the other day, going to work, living in Queensland as we do, we split traffic. We're allowed to lane filter in Queensland. So here I am, filtering right up the front of the line. And who's at the front of the line? Oh, far out. Get off there. A paddy wagon. Cop car. And I'm like, far out. He's right at the front of the line and I'm thinking, man. Anyway, so I pull up next to him And just do the usual, just ignore, you know, thinking I'm legally allowed to filter, so it's all good. Yeah, and then the light goes green and I take off so sedately. I go bloop, 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 and he took off past me. He was doing about 5 k's over the speed limit, so I just sat on his backside the whole way. Yeah, until the next set of lights where straight to the front of the line, Juddy. In here you've got screws that go into this. They've all broken off, so I'm going to try and fiberglass them back on. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. These things have to be attached, reattached to there. The old plastics, you can see cracks. See these cracks? These have all worked themselves into it over time because they've just been flapping in the breeze. You can see this bit's broken off. Yeah, down here it doesn't look too good. It's getting a little bit... Don't drop your phone, Juddy. It's getting a little bit late at the moment. So I'm not going to be getting the fiberglass out now. I just thought I'd get a start on it. So just showing you what I've got to work with. This was a piece I picked up off the trail. I went back about a week later to find these bits and pieces. These bits were on the trail too, smashed up. These bits came off. They got broken off the fairing. You've got cracks coming up in here, there, and they're just getting worse and worse up here. So what I have to do first is give it a tub, get all the oils and greases off it, so when I sand it back, none of those greases become impregnated in the plastic, hopefully. And yeah, that'll give me a clean palette to work with. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave them out in the sun to dry. And I'll probably just dry off these ones by hand and get started just by sanding off. It's got these cracks that I've really got to get in there, get all the paint off it, so I can get in there with some resin and some fiberglass material. Yeah, so I'll start with the smallest bits first and work my way up to the big bit. Yeah. And I'll get back to you shortly. Well, I've spent the day sanding off my plastics. Just doing the best I can to rough it up. If this is going to work, I'm going to have to give the epoxy as much of a chance to bond as I can. So, as difficult as it is, I've got in with the sandpaper by hand and just sanded where the plastic has to bond together. So these three I'm going to do first, just to practice with the epoxy, see how it bonds. I know I've still got a bit of sanding to do. However, I wanted to have a rest from sanding and just organise what I'm going to do. So I've given it a hose off. And you can see the cracks. It's everywhere. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like, if I had have repaired it straight away, there was quite a lot of cracks, but they wouldn't have progressed as much as they have with vibration from the KLR. Of course, everybody knows how the KLR has a tendency to vibrate. These plastics weren't as hard to do. I got most of the paint off them, but I'm getting there. I did do a quick Google search to see how much it would cost me for new plastics, and I found it near impossible. I can't imagine they would be cheap. And if I'm going to ride this thing off-road and I'm going to smash it up, like, things like this are going to happen. I need to know how to repair it. What I've done is I've zip tied these on here. Covered plugs, started to cover the plugs, zip tied up here so I can continue to ride to work. Everything else is functional. So yeah, that's life, man. Life in the fast lane. So this is what I'm using. I've got some weave. Not sure what I'm going to use yet, or some matting. I've got my epoxy, which you mix 5:1 epoxy resin and vinegar for clean up. If anybody knows fibreglass, vinegar is amazing. The mighty KLR lives on without the plastics on the side. She doesn't look too bad actually without the plastics. I noticed with the side cover off the other day, it looked quite clean. So I'll just keep plodding along, and yeah, do my best. If anything, anything I'm going to learn out of this is don't go off road with road tyres. You know what I mean? Anyway, such is life. I'm due for some new tyres, as you can see. I'm thinking maybe some 50/50s I think I'll get next, and hope that they last, because I do ride pretty hard on the road, so it's just finding that balance, isn't it? Like I'd still do 95% of my riding is on road, or even more, 99% really. So why get a 50/50? I want to do more off-road. Yeah, I want to have some fun and push my limits a bit, see if the tyres really do make a difference. Yeah, possibly do. The muffler is awesome. I love the new exhaust system. It's going great. It's not as loud as I thought it was. I guess it's just the Quacker is just so quiet stock. And I've got my jacket hanging on my yeah. I love the way my windscreen is now. It just pushes the wind right up over my head, even when I'm wearing a peak on my helmet. Even when I'm wearing my shorty, I wore my shorty today. There's no buffering, no wind noise around my ears. It's quite a lot more comfortable. So 3D Cycle Parts, you guys are legends. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to keep moving, try and get something done. Cheers. Okay, excuse the wind. Winter has started. You would have seen in one of my last videos I was saying how winter is coming. Well, it's here. It was really cold this morning going to work, so I got these fiberglassed on the other day. I pretty well just put them in a pool of resin and allowed it to dry. This one I actually, a little piece of fiberglass, because it didn't want to stick, but it did cure pretty well. what I'm going to do is I will put a little bit of fiberglass matting just around these, just to maybe reinforce them, seeing they've broken off. And there's only like the bits of webbing is the only places where it's actually held to the plastic itself. I did a crack just to see how it would work and how it would bind. Now, it's pretty dark here, isn't it? Weird. Yeah. So I cut a piece around here. There was a sizable crack coming up here along there, and it's bound that pretty well. The only trouble is the resin pooled in here. It's quite runny this time. Yeah, so I'll just have to grind a bit of that away before I put the piece that goes into here. There's two bits that I have to actually glue together to piece into there. The other side, you can see it's filled that crack pretty well with resin. Has come through, so I'll just have to sand that back flush. And I've got some micro beads. If I'm not sure, I mightn't even have to fill that. It might sand back okay. There was another crack here. Yeah, so they've filled pretty well. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, there's two cracks that have been repaired. The next thing is there's a piece that goes from here to here. Yeah, anyway, it's one of those things. It's a work in progress. I'm not going to bore you with every little detail, but what I might do is, when it comes to sticking this together, I'll show you what sort of technique I'm going to use, and that way you can see if this might be something that you might have to do in the future. Like I don't know how expensive these are, but I can guarantee they're not going to be cheap. So yeah, anyway, that's the afternoon. I'm not really looking forward to it. As you see, even though the sun's out, winter is here. The other day I went, winter is coming. But yes, winter's here. So it was, my phone told me it was 8 degrees this morning, but it was colder than that, because that was the weather, my weather app, the bomb weather app. So I'm going to get a thermometer happening out here. I'm going to do a day in the life of Hopper. Where are you, Hopper? Yeah, I'm going to do a day of the life of Hopper, what Hopper actually goes through. I've been actually riding it to work like that. I put a few zip ties around it so it doesn't fall apart. Yeah, so I'm thinking of doing a day in the life of Hopper. That will be like a 5 AM start up, and we'll take the temperature. Yeah, and you guys can ride to work with me. Oh, look at this, it's all fogged up. Anyway, it's time to go. Doesn't have to be a long video to be a good video, does it? Cheers, folks.